the amount of money that this Senate has passed to go to the counties, it's an amount that has been arrived at scientifically. It's not guesswork. We are taking care of very basic but important aspects in the counties. We are taking care of inflation. We are taking care of statutory deductions. We are taking care of non-discretionary decisions that have been made by the national government that will have an effect on the spending of the counties. Mr. Speaker, we expect this team, and I'm happy that Senator Madago is part of that team. He was in the counties. We're expecting that this team would deliver 415 billion Kenya shillings to the counties. As Speaker, I wish this team all the best, and I'm very sure that devolution will be better served. I thank you.
Senator Modigi Alexander. Just 2 minutes comment. Is it good enough?
Speaker,
2 minutes kindly.
Mimi nikiwa senator wa Embu County naunga mkono kamati ambaye imetengenezwa ambaye ya kutoka kwa walio wengi na walio wachache, na wameunda kama ambaye ni watu ambaye wako na ushujaa tu, wameelemika vizuri, na ni watu wameona ile matakaunti zetu kaunti 46 na sasa kumaanisha hawezi fanya kazi kwa sababu najua tuko senator 67, lakini imewekwa pale ni ya senator wa Meru Kadhuri na senator Kajwang na senator ambayo wa Nairobi, wengine wale wana usunja. Muende msungumuze na mtuletee mababu. Muna kaunti zetu zote 47 ya devolution, kwa sababu kaunti ya Embu County ile pesa inaenda kidogo na budget ambaye magavana nyingi, kwa sababu unajua agenda yetu tukiwa maseneta neka mambo ya devolution kule masinani, mambo ya elimu, mambo ya kilimo, pia hao watu wetu wanataka maji hata ya irrigation, na iko na mambo mengi, na tunajua magavana waliochaguliwa wakati wa hii kipindi ya serikali ya Kenya Kwanza ni wako na ujuzi wa kusaidia mwananchi mpaka masinani. Na tena Mr. Kajwang Senator, mkienda muambie watu wajue sile pesa tunataka iende masinani ni ile mwananchi amelipa usuru, ni ile mwananchi amelima, ni ile mwananchi ametafuta na njaso kubwa. Kwa hivyo ningeomba muende muongee na wale ndio tuweze kuona kaunti zetu watapata pesa na namna gani ndio waweze kusaidia mwananchi. Mimi ni senator wa Embu County, asante, naunga mkono hiyo kamati na mfanye mtuletee ripoti mzuri. Ni mimi Daktari Alexander Mwimondigi. Asante, asante.
Asante Senator wa Embu. Senator Manzo Daniel.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for your communication and for appointment of very able senators to go to the mediation. Mr. Speaker, Senate is here to defend devolution. At the moment we make a proposal for monies to go to the counties, it is not upon the National Assembly to say that money can be scooped, you know, from CDF. The money for CDF is fixed by the Constitution and cannot be touched. All we are asking is for sufficient monies to be added and sent to the counties. Mr. Speaker, there are many county functions which have still been stuck to the nation, and we really want health to be fully devolved, agriculture to be fully devolved, and in fact, recently there are some markets allegedly being built in the counties by the national government. Mr. Speaker, it puts it in the counties in a very difficult position that these markets have to be designed from Nairobi, but the land they are going to be planted belongs to the counties, and the counties, it's as if they have no role. Mr. Speaker, we want the counties to take their rightful place, to take development to the people and at the grassroots. And therefore, these monies, I am urging that particular team, there is no budging, there is no going back. They have to make sure this money goes for devolution. And in fact, Mr. Speaker, we have not yet met the constitutional threshold. And therefore, there must be sufficient money to make sure that devolution works. it functions, and that the counties get their rightful share so that they can develop. Most of what has been going to counties, Mr. Speaker, are just expenses and very little money for development. It is a high time this Senate insisted money for development to go to the counties, and I believe it will happen, Mr. Speaker, and it is our rightful and constitutional expectation and duty to make sure devolution is achieved through sending more money to the counties. Mr. Speaker, I support and I thank you.
Senator William Cheptumo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to agree with my colleagues who have spoken before me. Mr. Speaker, the membership whom you have read their names, I have no doubt in my mind, Mr. Speaker, that they have the capacity to match the team from the other side, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, when the debate on this bill was done in the National Assembly, I had a moment to listen to the discussions in the National Assembly. And Mr. Speaker, I want to tell the team that there is a very serious concerted effort to mislead the country that governors don't deserve more money. And the reason, Mr. Speaker, and I know my colleagues were able to listen, is because they claim that there is corruption. I don't deny, Mr. Speaker, there is no corruption in our counties. That is true. But the solution of that particular vice of corruption is not to deny the county governments the money. It is to put in place measures to deal with the corruption. So, Mr. Speaker, there is a very serious attempt in the other house to ensure. Number two, Mr. Speaker, in the entire debate, they only spoke about two things. That if you increase the money for counties, you will be reducing CDF. And when you reduce the money for counties, increase the money for counties, you reduce the money for the women reps. Mr. Speaker, that is a very narrow argument, because the argument here is the budget allocation. So I want to call upon my colleagues who will be representatives in that house, in that mediation committee, Mr. Speaker, that it is not about CDF. It's not about the GAF. It is about money. And Mr. Speaker, it is not really
Maybe 1 minute.
Mr. Speaker, I've been away for long.
You have been away for long, so
I've been away.
maybe let me compensate you with at least.
I've been indisposed for some time, but I thank God I'm back now. So, Mr. Speaker, it's a constitutional requirement. And Mr. Speaker, in 2010, when I was serving as the Deputy Minister for Justice, there was a serious cry to have county governments, so that, Mr. Speaker, we are able to take our resources back there. Let us not kill that particular very important principle. So, Mr. Speaker, I support it. Thank you.
Senator Koiti Andrew Omtata.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I thank you for the opportunity to contribute to this important issue. I listened to the list you have read out, and I have my total confidence in them, 100%, that they are going to represent the true position of the Senate on the question of funds going to the counties. Our counties are underfunded, irrespective of how their money is being used. The counties are underfunded, many services cannot be provided, and we need more funds to go down to the counties. And as I have observed before, even the revenue, the calculation of the revenue has been manipulated to leave out a very big chunk of national government revenue. So the 15% we are talking of, at least 15%, is not even pegged on the true picture of the revenue raised nationally. It's revenue which it's a revenue that the National Assembly decided should be the revenue to go to the counties. So, Mr. Speaker, sir, I am very happy I've chosen a team that I've got no doubt will not blink. And there's no room for blinking. We cannot blink. This is a case whereby if they don't want to give us the money for the counties, then let the budget sink. The time when we are taken for a ride are over. Those times are over, and we must get the counties getting at least the very minimum they require to survive. The figures we have were arrived at through a study. They are not random, and they cannot be randomly varied. Let the counties have their cake. As to what they do with the cake, that's the work of the Senate. We go down there and make sure that the money is used according to the law. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
There is a lot of interest on this matter. I'm afraid I might stop this at some point. Let's hear Senator Joe Newton.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. I think I also want, first of all, to congratulate the members that have been named by the Speaker of this Honorable House to go to the mediation talks, Mr. Speaker. And like everybody else has said before me, these are members whose capacity and commitment cannot be doubted by anybody, Mr. Speaker. One thing I would want to ask our colleagues in the committee to carry with them, Mr. Speaker, is to go and let the members of the National Assembly understand that we do not have any fight between counties and constituencies, Mr. Speaker, because money going to the counties, Mr. Speaker, is also money that is going to go to the constituencies which these members of the National Assembly serve. So, Mr. Speaker, I think we need to impress upon the members of the National Assembly that there is no hostility that should be entertained between counties and constituencies. And so, when they are looking at the monies that are going to be sent to the counties, Mr. Speaker, they should be friendly in so doing. Mr. Speaker, I have had many members of the National Assembly complaining in their counties, in their constituencies, of inadequate health facilities and medical care, Mr. Speaker. And if this is a concern that they have for their constituents, Mr. Speaker, I think the only way to address such a problem, because the biggest responsibility of counties, Mr. Speaker, is health, I think it would then be to give in to our request or to admit our request for 415 billion, Mr. Speaker, so that our health facilities may be sorted, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, when these members go to the negotiation table, because there is that reason that was given by the members of the National Assembly that
you know, once you get an opportunity, you should be able to engage what you can do in 2 minutes. Therefore, I think the message was very clear, and the team has been advised accordingly. Senator Sosi?
Mr. Speaker, I want to congratulate the members who have been appointed to sit on the mediation committee and to say that the task ahead is a very, very important task in as far as Article 96 of the Constitution is concerned. Mr. Speaker, I think the National Assembly members, where I used to serve with you, must understand that the most progressive thing that happened to this country since independence is a proclamation of the new constitution that provided for devolution, because there is an attempt to fight devolution. And it is unfortunate that the National Assembly is a house that is being used to fight devolution. I listened to the deliberation of the National Assembly on this matter, and I think in the mediation committee meeting, the first agenda should be that the majority leader and the chair of budget must give an apology, because they gave an impression that we as the senators were going to deduct money from CDF and money for roads, which was not the case. We are not talking about budget, the actual budget process. We are simply talking about division of revenue between the national government and the county government. So, Mr. Speaker, even as we talk about that, we need also to talk about the bigger issue here. On this order paper today, Mr. Speaker, there is order paper, there is order number 9, which is talking about bicameral relations between the two houses. And this bill, Mr. Speaker, this bill is unconstitutional. And I wonder why we are rushing us through.
Can you reserve your energy maybe until we get to the order number 9? You know, Senator Tabitha Keroche is conspicuously sitting on the majority leader's seat today. Is it like you are temporary majority leader or what is it? 2 minutes for you. Honorable Senators, whenever you get time this afternoon, you can be able to make your comment on that matter. So let us make some progress.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. It is true, I'm now the temporary majority leader for the 1 week. My boss is in US, so anything that you want to report about the majority leader's office, this is the office now you should report to. And you should clap me for that. And I want to take this as an opportunity to congratulate the Speaker for the appointment of this mediation committee on the division of revenue bill. I think the people, the lovely people of Kenya that elected us and brought us to, and sent us to this house, which is an upper house, one of the assignment was to ensure that we fight for more revenue and send it to our counties. So I know the team that has been elected has what it takes so that we can achieve one of the assignment that we've been sent to do in this house, to ensure that we fight for more revenue and send it to our counties. I think the other part is to ensure that money is, we as the senators, it's used for development to our counties, and ensure that our governors use this money for the development of our counties so that our people can benefit across Kenya. Because the counties rely on the CEO that has been appointed to represent the county, and that is the governor. So the next person who is there should do the oversight to ensure that money is utilized well, to ensure that it benefits our people. It is us, the senators. So let's do our work, and I'm sure the people that send us here will celebrate to know that they put the right people in this house. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's go to the next order.
Order number 3, messages.
Next order.
Order number 4, petitions.
Next order.
Order number 5, papers.
There's the majority leader. The majority. You are the principal assistant of the leader of the majority party.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the Senate today, 21st May 2024. Report of the Auditor General on financial statements of Embu Water and Sanitation Company Limited for the year ended 30th June 2023. The Senate Majority Leader.
Chairperson, Standing Committee on Trade. All Vice Chair, all a member. Chair, Justice, Legal Affairs and Human Rights. You have some papers today.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the Senate today, 21st May 2024. One, report of the Standing Committee on Justice, Legal Affairs and Human Rights on its consideration of the Statutory Instruments Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bills number 2 of 2023. Two, report of the Standing Committee on Justice, Legal Affairs and Human Rights on its consideration of the Constitution of Kenya Amendment Bill, number 2, Bill Senate number 52 of 2023. Three, report of the Standing Committee on Justice, Legal Affairs and Human Rights on its consideration of the Statutory Instruments Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bills number 3 of 2024. And 4, report of the Standing Committee on Justice, Legal Affairs and Human Rights on its consideration of the Statutory Instruments Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 10 of 2024. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I beg to lay.
Thank you, Chair. Let us have the majority lead again on to read the people on trade, industrialization and tourism.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the Senate today, 21st May 2024. Report of the Standing Committee on Trade, Industrialization and Tourism on its consideration of the Cooperative Societies Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 53 of 2023. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Next order.
Order number 7, questions and statements.
We have a statement and starting on the 53-1. Senator for Kirinyaga County, Senator James Murango. Actually, he has two statements. One to the Standing Committee on Devolution and Intergovernmental Relations. The other one to the Standing Committee on Justice, Legal Affairs and Human Rights. So those two statements are dropped. Next order. Because I'm following the order paper, those were the only two registered statements by the Senator for Kirinyaga. Clerk. Who was the statement on the International Tea Day? Any other statement will be read tomorrow because they must be scheduled. Okay. Who has the statement on International Tea Day? Is it Senator Chalgei? Senator Kisang, can you read your statement very fast? Yeah, where is your statement? Okay, proceed, Senator Chute.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. This is a request for a statement on payment made by the Marsabit County government to various suppliers for the financial year 2021, 2022, 2023. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Finance and Budget regarding payments made by Marsabit County Government to various suppliers for the financial year 2021, 22, 23. In the statement, the committee should establish 1. The ownership of registration status of the following companies: Dream Zone Company Limited, Buku Holdings Limited, Kobe Constructions and Water Services Limited, Sowell Trading Company Limited, Almiran Investment Limited, North Face Investment, Bismil Limited, Knoxville Ventures Limited, Culture Taxi Services, Al Halim Kenya Limited, Nexus Development Limited, Bismal Enterprise, Kachacha Company Limited, Tulasagalan Limited, Blue Tick Solution Limited, and Kesa Sumu Tech Limited companies, which have been providing services to Marsabit County Government. Honorable Speaker, 2, state when Marsabit County Government started contractual engagements with the aforementioned companies, outlining the nature of services each company has rendered to the county, further verifying payments of approximately 1,13,480,731.95 made to these companies during the financial year 2022-2023. Number 3, identify the bank accounts held by the Marsabit County Government in KCB Bank and Equity Bank Limited, and furnish bank statements for the financial years 2021, 2022 to 2022, 2023 for the county government operations. 4, cause the Financial Reporting Center, FRC, the Asset Recovery Agency, AAR, and the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Authority to investigate any suspicious financial transactions conducted by Marsabit County Government pertaining to payments for goods and services, and hold to account persons responsible for misappropriating or pilferage of county funds. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Next order. Okay, so by revoking Standing Order 45-2, we defer under number 8. We have no numbers for the division. Then we go to order number 9. Clerk, call order number 9. Oh, you have to call. Yes, now the statement. Okay, fine. Can you make the statement, Chalgay? And today you are not well organized.
No, you know I've been on the top of the mountain. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for your intelligence. Statement on an issue of general topical concern called International Tea Day. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 52-1 to make a statement on issue of general topical concern, namely celebration of International Tea Day. In 2005, Mr. Speaker, tea-producing countries, including Sri Lanka, Nepal, Kenya, Indonesia, Malaysia, and Uganda came together to celebrate International Tea Day. Later in 2019, Mr. Speaker, the Intergovernmental Group on Tea decided to celebrate International Tea Day every day on May 21st. The United Nations accepted this celebration, and the first UN International Tea Day was celebrated on 21st May 2020. Mr. Speaker, sir, today, being 21st May 2024, we join the rest of the world in celebrating International Tea Day. We encourage Kenyans not only to produce tea, but also to be consumers of it. Besides its taste, tea has several health benefits, such as reducing the risk of heart attack and stroke, aiding in weight loss, protecting bones, preventing tooth decay and loss, boosting the immune system, soothing the digestive system, helping to battle cancer, and helping to relax the body. Mr. Speaker, sir, according to the latest data from the Food and Agricultural Organization, FAO, more than 7 million tons of tea are produced worldwide. Kenya is the third leading producer and the biggest exporter, and accounting for about 28% of the world's tea export. Mr. Speaker, sir, small-scale tea farming in Kenya accounts for about 65% of the total tea production in the country, with the rest being produced by multinationals. Over the years, the tea sector in Kenya has continued to be a major foreign exchange earner for over our country and has become a catalyst for the growth of rural area economies since post-independence. With the right political goodwill, and allow me, Mr. Speaker, from His Excellency the President and the Deputy President, and from the Kenya Kwanza government, which is fronting tea sectoral reforms, and we had a tea engagement and reform sector at Kericho last year that have started to take root. Smallholder farmers will see higher market dividends from this season. So, Speaker, sir, as we entrench these tea reforms, mostly targeting small-scale tea farmers and the local farmer, we recognize that the sector is one of the key drivers of Kenya's socio-economic development. It is a key pillar in economic growth and provides a direct source of livelihood to over 750,000 farmers and employs millions of people. Like, for example, in Nandi, out of 6 sub-counties, 4 grow tea, even including your county, Mr. Speaker. Some of the reforms are already in place, include the introduction of minimum market price under-guarantee minimum reforms, the fertilizer subsidy initiative to farmers, an increase in monthly payments to farmers, timely payment of bonuses, and reduction of interest rate to farmers by financial institutions. Mr. Speaker, sir, in conclusion, with the increase in rainfall this year, we expect that the tea production, and it is worth to note, Mr. Speaker, that some of the tea factories are no longer picking tea, for example, in Bomet and many other counties, because the tea production is too much because of heavy rainfall and subsidized fertilizer by the government. Therefore, we call on the relevant authorities to ensure a steady market and price stability for our tea farmers. We want also to call to Kenyans, Mr. Speaker, to assure our tea farmers that we will support and assist in legislating, and you are aware there is a Tea Amendment Act in the floor of the House, on necessary reforms, Mr. Speaker, and ensure maximum production and better returns, Mr. Speaker. It is also a call to Kenyans, especially who take other hard drinks, to reduce the hard drinks like alcohol and consume more tea to ensure we improve on local consumption and protect our farmers. So, Mr. Speaker, I know there are a number of us who take other type of drinks, but I want to call upon Kenyans, let us drink tea in the morning, in the evening, Mr. Speaker, so that it becomes...
Some of the issues you are now raising are not